Hey all, Keith Littlewood from Balanced Body Mind. Clients often ask me when they're trying to change certain key elements in their lifestyle, what are key things that they can do to make themselves healthier? My response is more often than not is about understanding your environment a bit more. And the environment these days is so stressful for the human body. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of chemicals that our body has to deal with on a daily basis that weren't around before. And even as long ago as the 70s, there were doctors who were kind of making assessments of the impact of these chemicals on our body makeup and how they affect our hormones. And there's even more emerging technology that's so untested that we don't know the long-term results of such technologies. So one of the first key things I ask clients to understand is the impact of Wi-Fi on their body. It's very hard to get away from Wi-Fi, but there are a couple of key things that you can do just to lower the load that your body's experiencing. There's a study that came out in 2009 that shows that Wi-Fi technology is responsible for affecting certain hormones, particularly related to the thyroid. And we know that the thyroid has a huge impact on our metabolism. So do not have Wi-Fi on at night. Turn your own Wi-Fi signal off. Do not have any mobile phone technology by your bed, particularly by your head. That's very important. Put it into another room if you use your alarm to wake you up, so it's just outside the door or something. But don't have any Wi-Fi technology, particularly in your room, especially while you're sleeping. That's very important. Even if you just flick your computer on, you'll notice there are 10-15 Wi-Fi signals around you. But trying to lower the load that's actually in your home is a step in the right direction. Another thing that I ask people to be aware of are the chemicals and the perfumes that they put on themselves. Particularly here in Dubai, folks seem to have lost the art of how to do very low level seduction by, instead of using very small amounts of perfume and aftershave, they tend to use it like chloroform and overpower you in lifts or when you walk by. And more often than not, women and guys in particular tend to put a lot of the perfumes on the neck. Many of these chemicals are shown to be quite harsh and also very well-known endocrine disruptors, particularly affecting the thyroid once again. So just be wary of the chemicals that you're putting onto your body, because that's, again, a step in the right direction to understanding and lowering the load against you that's often present in the environment. The air that we often breathe is very dirty, particularly here in a city that's dominated by car travel. There are often many chemicals in the air and heavy metals. We think about lead and benzene, and I've tested quite a few clients and shown that these are often coming out in the urine quite substantially. So getting a really good quality air filter at home, just to filter the air that you're breathing at home, again, is a step in the right direction. These days it's more about damage limitation than trying to control our environment, because our environment these days is very toxic. So the more that we can lower the load, the better it's going to be for you. Obviously food is a big impact as well, and I do recommend eating organic where possible. The less pesticides, people talk about eating clean, it's impossible to eat clean. The planet has so many chemicals in it now that it's impossible to eat clean. But what you can do is eat a lower load of the chemicals, pesticides, which is going to help our body just to have a little bit of a break. The liver's constantly working to detoxify our body of all of these chemicals that we breathe, ingest, and also absorb through our skin, so that's a step in the right direction. Also, avoiding all genetically modified foods. There's no longitudinal research on this, and there's even emerging research that say gluten sensitivity could be actually coming from increased use of glycophosphates, use of pesticides, use of fertilizers within genetically modified foodstuffs. So do yourself a favour, try looking at those 5 things. Don't worry about stuff too much because life's too short, but just try and get on top of some of the basics. Try and clean up your own environment at home and be aware of the chemicals around you, and you're stepping in the right direction.